This is not a story. This is not some fucked up fable about some man with long arms. This isn't even a story about a demon with sunken eyes that tears the flesh softly from your weak muscle tendons and gnaws away at your bone marrow. No. This is my warning against these fucking guys, to tell someone about them, to get the shit off my chest as of now it's becoming hard to handle. Okay, so for the last few months I've been followed. I'm being watched by these people in the windows. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself here. As you probably don't understand what I'm talking about at the moment, I can explain. About 1.5 years ago, I had moved away from my hometown of Hawaii Kai. It's a small community on the even smaller island of Oahu, located on the ever-warm Hawaii. My parents had found a house in Iwo Beach, which was directly on the other side of the island. Unfortunately, this meant that I had to leave all of my friends during the move. Since this has been about the 100th time we had moved out of a town that I had just gotten used to, I convinced my parents that it would be better for me to attend an online school. I figured that way, if we ever moved again, I wouldn't have to remake all my friends again, which I've had to do for pretty much all of my life, being in a military family and all. They promptly agreed that I could, mostly as their way of saying sorry for moving so much, and I started up my online school here. The school itself was amazing. Well, I guess the courses were. They actually taught challenging material that gave understanding to the class, which incidentally never happened in any of my other attended schools I've gone to in Hawaii. Oh, that's right, I haven't even gotten to the best part. I got to sleep in until whenever I wanted, and got to stay up until the late hours of the night. And everything was great. I met a beautiful girl, got an honor roll, and became part of the honor society, and I even got a job online as a graphic designer. 3 months had passed, and I made a routine for myself. When I decided that I had had enough of gaming and YouTubing, I went downstairs to grab a drink, which was my usual routine. My downstairs was fairly large, with no closed-off room, so it was a big open expanse in which I had free reign over at night. The entire downstairs was surrounded by windows, which gave out no light at night, due to there being trees encompassing the entirety of the house. But this is where things started to go wrong. I started to notice them. While walking down the stairs, I caught a glimpse of something in the window frame of the doorway. It was peach in color, slightly brown, but much too blurry to make out. It was round, but not a circle. After realizing that I saw something, I looked quickly back at the window and saw the void of night. Nothing. Must have just been my imagination. It's late. There was nothing. Making my way to the refrigerator to get my nightly glass of water, I noticed something in the corner of my eye, in the window above the kitchen sink. I wouldn't have looked. I shouldn't have looked. But the blur in the small area of my eye, barely capable of even capturing anything, moved. It moved fast. I remember that it moved like how a spider walks up a wall in short, skittering bursts of seizure-like movement. Then it stopped. I looked over casually. Moths were always around the house. This was just another one. No. It was not a moth. It was not anything that I could have imagined or wanted to imagine. It was a face. It wasn't human. It was too distorted. Looking back, I think it wanted to look like a human, to look like us, but couldn't get it right. What I saw behind the window was a face of mixed flesh. The head was much too flattened and fat, the eyes were off, the right eye was too large to be normal, and the left was squinted tightly so that it looked like a black roach, being crushed and twitching from the pain. The mouth was the worst. It twisted and turned down its neck, making a repulsive frown that was more akin to a snake, or a Venus flytrap than a human. I was quiet. No, this wasn't real. I fell asleep while playing my game. I would wake up in a few short moments. We stared. It was motionless. My heart thumped against my eardrums, creating explosions of blood and sound within my head. It started to open its mouth, lips pressed against my protection, the window glass, making a sound like someone sliding their hand across a car door. I ran upstairs, I closed my door, and covered my head under my blankets. I closed the windows tight. I did not sleep that night. I distracted my mind with the internet, using it as a pain medication for my problem. The next morning, I dreaded the night. I kept my windows closed. I did not go downstairs. My parents were concerned, but in the end, they had jobs, and I was left at home for school. Night came faster than I wanted it to. I almost made it through the night without going out for anything, but at about 4 a.m., I woke up. I had used the bathroom. Not awake enough to fully remember the events from the previous night, I mindlessly walked out, did my business, and exited the bathroom. I heard a thump on something. Without thinking, I looked to the source. In the pitch black of the night, I made out something in the bottom corner of the second-story window. It was a face. This time there were no eyes. In place of them, they were pitch black voids, with a scowling frown for a mouth. There was no nose, no ears, and on its head there was a dirty mess of hair. It looked angry. We stared. I tried to move, but when I did, it looked angrier. I was sweating, my mouth was quivering from the fear, tears were forming from my eyes. I couldn't do anything. The face returned back to its original expression of hatred towards me and seemed to calm down. I did not move. I did not want to see the horrible anger change to murderous intent again. Then I heard something. A thud from behind me. I woke up in the morning outside on the front lawn. I remember clearly what happened last night. I did not remember falling asleep. I didn't even remember going outside. It was 6 a.m. and the sun was barely rising. The door was locked and I had to wait for my family to wake up to get back in. The faces, over time, got worse. They came to me in multitude, till all of my windows were filled with 3 or 4 faces, all staring at me, all trying to be human, yet failing in every way. We moved a year later back to Hawaii, Kai. Faces stopped. Until last week. They came back. The sounds, the thuds, the sound of flesh pounding against glass. They're back. They followed me. And they've gotten worse. They're opening the doors. They're touching me in my sleep. I woke up in the mountains behind my house with scratches all over my body. This time I woke up at night. I don't know what to do. I need help. I'm being followed. They're always watching.